brothers, whatever kind deeds. I hope all of you are doing good. Hope you have had a good day, whether your day is your day, night, or evening, whatever it is. Where I am, it's my evening, and I really had a great day. I'm here to talk about a crisis plan. I know some of you have heard about a plan, but I'm talking about a crisis plan. When you think of a crisis plan, what comes to mind? For sure, some of us, based on how we have grown up or how we've been socialized, we think of trouble. Definitely, yes, it's trouble. But in a crisis, what are some things when your head is not functioning well that you could do or others could do on your behalf? You know, how they talk to you, choice of words, and things like those. I'm bringing in this experience because I've worked with people who are in crisis. And in between my experience, I was able to develop a crisis plan that I use with some of my people that I know, friends, acquaintances, and all that. I wouldn't say I've used it with family members because they have not been inclined to use it, but I feel it is effective, especially if you have a network of people and they know when you could be in crisis, what you look like, what you feel like, how you talk, you know, what to watch for, what does a good day look like, what does a bad day look like. So when I talk about having a crisis plan, it's more like knowing, you know, who are the people you can call. You know, definition of a crisis. Yes, I did say some of us, when we think of crisis, we're thinking of trouble. Crisis is a time when unusual problem-solving ability stops to function and tension arises. You can imagine that one time, whether it was a financial crisis, wild crisis, childcare crisis, my mental health, whatever it is. Crisis is a situation that is extremely difficult or dangerous when there are many problems, an event or a period that will lead to unstable situation affecting an individual or society. So when we talk about crisis, it's like the crisis can be anything, can be your mental crisis, your health crisis, financial crisis, childcare crisis, my own wellness. You know, if I'm not able to get up and take a shower and prepare myself and go to work. Think of it reverse psychology. When you're thinking of, when you automatically wake up, you hear your alarm, you get up, you take a shower or a bath, you prepare yourself, you put some Vaseline, lotion, or whatever you're putting, then you put on your clothes, then you make your lunch or your breakfast, and then you're out to go to a job. So just think of it, all those things that you were doing that were structured in a routine, and you're unable to do them. That's what I'm talking about. Now, when you add on the components, now it's not just yourself. You have your husband or your boyfriend or a shugwa, whatever you want to call it, concubine, you know, your children, parents, cousins, siblings, sister, brothers, grandparents, great-grandparents, cousins, aunts. If you think of it like that, then you can imagine if your grandparent is unwell, you go in a mode of crisis because you're figuring out, I want healthy. I want my social to be healthy. So when in that mode you are unable to function, you know, the ones who know you, who have, I always say, cultivating on our relationships is work. Whether we cultivate on it or we don't cultivate on it, both ways is work. And every role that we do or every way that we use to cultivate our relationship is costly. Whether we cultivate quality or quantity. So who are those people who know, like let's say, Mimi Warigoro, kind deeds, is not stable? What are some words that they can look for that I'm talking when I start talking, you know, whatever it is, or I act funny? I don't want to say funny, or when they know my behavior does not match with the Mimi Waruguru they know. What is that they watch for? So investing in your friends or your friends investing in you, that can be one way they can tell when you're in a crisis. So with this plan is knowing your definition of the crisis, which I mentioned. And then also, what does life look like when things are going well? What do people know? Are you a jovial person, humorous, outgoing? Do you dress up? You know, do you dress up to the T? When they see you with just some pajamas all week, like the other day I was being told, I need to change up my outfit. You know, it's not that I was going in a crisis, but when you default to a routine, people are like, what is really going on with them? And then either Behaviors you notice yourself. Maybe you are a person who goes to the gym. Now you reduce going to the gym. You're a person who enjoyed cooking. You don't cook anymore. You're a person who enjoyed to have a conversation with people. You don't do it anymore. And then what do others notice when things aren't going well? So those are keywords. There's always somebody or people who will know when things are not right. So it is investing in those friends, those family members, those relationships, so that when they know you're in trouble, you don't have to say much. They're like, Mimi Warworo, what is really going on? Let us help you. And then what would you like me to do if I notice the things? Also, there are those friends who are like, because at times when we call a friend, you're like, hi, Mimi Warworo, how are you? We say fine. What does that fine mean? Fine can mean a lot of things. I don't want to talk. Yes, I'm fine. I don't want you to bother me. Yes, I'm fine. Why do you care? But fine, if you're a person who's able to remove and have what do you call it? When you ask your questions, they're open end. How are you doing? How are things going for you? Rather than saying, Mimi Warugoro, how are you? Of course, definitely, if I don't want to talk to you, I'm going to say fine. So it's having those open end questions. So the motivation interview, going with affirmation. If you notice things are going odd, what's affirmation? And say, the other time when we went to Chili's, you really were hilarious because you told us about a joke about the rat and the mouse. Rat and the mouse is the same thing. If you didn't catch that joke, sorry. So you are hilarious. You told us about blah, blah, blah. So if people can go back with pointers like those, then definitely, people have invested in a relationship with you. So when they have figured out all that, what do you like me to do? So this crisis plan looks like this. Those friends will know what to do when things are looking tough, what to watch for when things are looking good. And then also, do you have any anniversaries or triggers? At times crises come in. I'm going to share this because at times February is usually a very challenging month for me. I don't think there's any February month things have ever been smooth for me. That's the time I lost my dad. And when it comes February 6th, it feels like it just happened. February 6th, 2007. So February always is a trigger. I know it's a time for me to be like, oh, Kennedy, buy me flowers, buy me chocolate, take me to Booverland, go for a date tonight or whatever. But February is always a challenging month. So what are those triggers? If it's a time, a person lost a person, or even our grief doesn't have to be because somebody died. Even loss of a relationship, loss of a child, loss of a friendship. All those are griefs. So if it happened in a particular month, it can always be a trigger when a person is really struggling with things. I'm just giving examples so that it can be realistic to be logic. At times we can let our emotions run the course, but at times we need to be logic with these things. So I'm just going to leave you with a few things that you can share with your friends that they can do when things are a little dull. If it means watching the clouds, smelling the rain. When you go out there and it's raining, what does that smell like? What does it feel like? What does it look like? Tucking your children to bed, or tucking your husband or your pet. If you've not done it, what does that look like? What does that feel like? Admire the flowers. Stop and notice the colors of the flowers. Not that, the flowers. But just notice the color of the flowers. Light up a candle, and I have samples here. Let me tell you, this looks like Coke, but it's not Coke. It's not Coca-Cola, but it's a candle. So lighting this up can be one that can ignite your mood. And then I have another one which can boost your mood beyond just igniting it. It says dance as though no one is watching. Love as though you've never been hurt before. Sing though like no one can hear. Even if you don't have a tone, do it. Live as though heaven is on earth. I love this candle because it's a candle and it has affirmations. Doing it wholeheartedly. Dance to your favorite song is another thing. And then spend half an hour or an hour or how much time you want painting, sketching, doodling, or call a friend. It doesn't have to be an old friend, even a new friend. Chat about anything. Don't make it too challenging for yourself. and give your loved ones a kiss. If you're a hugger or a kisser, before you head out. Because there's no moment is repeated and no moment is the same, and you may never know how many more moments you have left. Thank you so much for watching my video. Like and subscribe and share, and I'll continue having part 1. This is part 2 of what a crisis plan may look like or feel like, or if you think through it. And then I'm going to have continuous series on this because I feel there's a need for it. So like I said, love or like, subscribe and share with others. Thank you for your support. Gotta go to a kind